First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Yahweh is to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name. Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. Also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Hey, today's video, I'm going to probably title it something along the lines of the presidents are selected and not elected, right? And your vote does not matter, right? Going into this presidential selection tomorrow night, and going into how, like I just said, your vote doesn't matter, right? You have all these people going to go vote, right? Getting massive lines. People have been voting online, sending in ballots, blah, 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 thinking that they're making a difference. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, okay? Because the president that comes in is whatever the elites want to choose. If they want Kamala to come in, they're going to do that. If they want Trump to come in, even though it says he's losing all the ballots, they're going to do that, right? And it's just an illusion to keep you people asleep. So I'm going to play this video real quick, get a couple scriptures, and just straight to the point.
Makes sense for the listening public. America is not a democracy. The people do not choose the president. Presidents are publicly confirmed by the Electoral College. It is the Electoral College that votes for the president, not the people. Now, based on your popular vote, whoever wins the popular vote in a state generally will carry all of the Electoral College votes for that state. But the electors of that state are not required to vote for the person that won the popular vote. So, for example, you beat me in Pennsylvania for the popular vote for president of the United States. You clearly won the popular vote. The electors for the state of Pennsylvania, 99.9% of the time, will vote for you to be president because you carried the popular vote. But they are not required to do so by constitutional law. And the reason they are not required to do so by constitutional law is the United States government is not a democracy. It is a republic. It is not the rule of the majority. It is the rule of law. That's why the word democracy is not in the Constitution. The word democracy is not in the preamble. The word democracy is not in the Declaration of Independence. The word democracy cannot be found in any of the 50 state constitutions of this country. This is not a democracy. It is not the rule of the majority. It is a republic, the rule of the law. And who controls the republic? The aristocracy, the elite financial powers of this country. That's who really chooses the president. Now, if that is the case, why so much attention is put on the popular vote? Because since this is not a democracy, it is important to keep the illusion of inclusion alive and well. When people don't think they have a say in government, they overthrow it. When people don't think they have a say in government, they spark revolution. When people don't think they have a say in government, rebellions happen. So it is important for the power structure, the media, the corporate oligarchy to manipulate the American collective consciousness into voting for the person they pre-selected. It is important that the people come to the same conclusion through manipulation and indoctrination as the power structure. When the power structure chooses one president and the people choose someone else, then the illusion of a democracy begins to yield its dirty head, and that can spell trouble for maintaining the status quo and the social order. For example, in our lives, we've seen twice where a presidential candidate who won the popular vote lost the White House. Al Gore won the popular vote. George Bush won the White House. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Donald Trump won the White House. They can't keep letting that happen, because the more and more that the people choose one person and the power structure choose another, when people start to see that we really don't control this government, we really don't choose our leaders, they start to rebel. And that's why so much energy is put into the popular vote, because it needs to confirm the selection
right
of the
there,
secret
hey,
government.
you heard it explained perfectly. You heard it explained perfectly. Let me go to the video again.
Let me make this make sense.
Right, going into how it doesn't matter who the people, right, the popular vote is. The Electoral College are the ones that decide. They don't have to take the popular vote into account. And let me actually search up the Electoral College just to get more of a definition of what that is. In the United States, the Electoral College is the group of presidential electors that is formed every year during the presidential election for the sole purpose of voting for the president and vice president. The process is described in Article 2 of the Constitution. Let's click this right here, see if we can get some more information. The Electoral College is not a physical place. It is a process which includes the selection of electors, meeting of electors who cast votes for the president and vice president, counting of the electors' votes by Congress, In other U.S. elections, candidates are elected directly by popular vote, but the president and vice president are not elected directly by citizens. Instead, they are chosen through the Electoral College process. Okay, that literally tells you perfectly what's going on. It says the process of using electors comes from the Constitution. It was a compromise between a popular vote by citizens and a vote in Congress. How does the Electoral College process work? After you cast your ballot for president, your vote goes to a statewide tally. In 48 states and Washington, D.C., the winner gets all the electoral votes for that state. Maine and Nebraska assign their electors using a proportional system. A candidate needs the vote of at least 270 electors, more than half of all electors, to win the presidential election. In most cases, a projected winner is announced on election night in November after you vote, but the actual Electoral College vote takes place in mid-December when the electors meet in their states. So, going to show that it can change. Let me see if I can get some more information. This right here. See if it can load. Let's see. When voters cast their ballots for a candidate for president of the United States, they are actually voting for the presidential electors who were selected by that candidate's party, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. Ballots around the country, names like Donald Trump and Kamala Harris actually represent slates of electors, members of the Electoral College, who are pledged to vote for that candidate. There are 538 members of the Electoral College nationwide, one for each state members of Congress, and 3 more for the District of Columbia. That's where the presidential election's famous number comes from. The candidate with at least 270 electoral votes, a majority, wins. As we've seen in previous elections, that candidate doesn't have to win the popular vote. Right? So if all of Nebraska, let's say, votes for Trump, and that's the popular vote, it doesn't matter. Right? It's what the electors say. So let's go to the scriptures and go into how this whole concept of voting for one person every single year, okay, every 4 years, comes from the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, right? It's an Edomite system, Edomite way of living. So when you go into Maccabees in the Apocrypha, which is the history of the Greeks and the Romans, the Israelites being in the Greek and the Roman captivity, this is 1 Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 15. It says, moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. Right? So what we see today about the electoral, right, college, voting for the president, that's ancient. That goes back to the ancient Greeks and Romans, right, which are Edomites also. Okay, it says that those 320 men, those were the ones that committed the government to one man every year. Okay, not the people. No, those people in the Senate House. It's the same thing today, showing you that your vote does not matter. They choose whoever wants to go in there. Okay, this is straight out of the Holy Scriptures. And when you actually go into a little nugget, when you go into Daniel, the 7th chapter, and you go into the prophecies of the kingdoms to rule, right? It says, it prophesied, Daniel saw a vision, and the vision was pretty much prophesying the 4 major empires that were going to rule the earth. Right, the first was the Assyrian Babylonian Empire, the second was the Medo-Persian Empire, the third was the Greek Empire, and the fourth was the Roman Empire. Right, so when you go into the fourth, Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7, it says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns, right? So this fourth beast is talking about the Roman Empire, right? But the reason I bring this up is that it says that the fourth beast, the Roman Empire, it was diverse, right? It was different from all the empires before it, okay? And the main reason, the reason why, is because of this type of government, right? The so-called democracy, okay? Before Rome, it used to be pretty much, what's the name? I think it's called the monarchy. How you had the king, and after the king died, the king's son ruled. And after the king's son died, his son ruled. And that's how things went, right? But hey, coming with the Greeks and the Romans, starting primarily with the Romans, that all changed. Now you have that Senate house with 320 men, that they were the ones that chose one person to rule the entire country, right? That's why the fourth beast was diverse from all the other beasts, okay? And that's what we're seeing today. America is the reborn Roman Empire, right? One thing, too, that guy, Dr. Umar, okay, the speaker was going into is that they give these people the illusion of choice, right, to keep them dumbed down. And pretty much when you go into the whole thing about a Republican versus Democrat, hey, that's all a plan, that's all a ploy. The reason being is the elites know that if they keep the people against each other, right, fighting against each other, the people are never going to come together to come against the elites, right? Yahushua said it himself, right? A kingdom Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25, it says, And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Right? And since the very inception of America, okay, the very concept of so-called democracy of left versus right is division. From the beginning of America, this place was doomed to fall just by the way it was structured. Okay, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. That's what we're seeing right now. Okay, we're seeing the left versus right, and how is it looking for this election? The people are really emotionally charged, right? The people are really getting riled up about tomorrow night who's gonna become president, Kamala or Trump. Right, there's literally all these Proud Boys, all these Trump supporters talking about if Kamala comes into office, she's thinking about throwing us in concentration camps. We can't let that happen. We're gonna have to kill some people. That's what they're literally saying. Okay, over there in the White House, it's something Capitol Hill. Okay, they're pretty much putting extra fencing around Capitol Hill. Right, they're bringing out the National Guard, preparing for a civil war scenario over this election, right? Showing you that something is coming down the pipeline, okay? It could be a terrorist attack. It could be civil war, right? People just getting mad for whoever comes into office, right? Because if Kamala comes in, these Trump guys are gonna get mad, right? They're gonna say, "Oh, Trump, the election got robbed again," blah blah blah. And if Trump comes in, all these Democrats are also going to get mad. Oh, we're going to be 4 more years with Trump. He's not going to do shit. He's terrible, blah, blah, blah. Right? Either way you slice it, okay, chaos is going to unfold. And that's what Yahushua was talking about. So, I'll leave it at that. Real quick video. The main key scripture of this video was that the Maccabees, how this is all ancient. The same way it was done in the Roman Empire, 320 men, those men in the Senate house were the ones that, they selected the Caesar, is the same way it's done now, aka the Electoral College. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me the truth. Shalom to your elect. Shalom.